Good morning, everyone. I am Shweta Sarangi, and in your third semester, I will teach you about the environmental studies. So, in the previous class, we have studied about the ecosystem and ecology, and we have completed our third chapter, that was ecosystem. So, now we are going to study about biodiversity, which is our fourth chapter. Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you that what is biodiversity. So the term biodiversity is short form of biological diversity and was coined by Walter G. Roshan in 1986. Okay, so according to Article 2 of Convention of Biodiversity (CBO), biodiversity may be defined as biological diversity means the variability among living organisms from all sources including intralia, terrestrial, marine and other ecosystem and the ecological complexes of which they are part. This includes diversity within species, between species and of ecosystem. So biodiversity is neither the numbers of organisms present in any natural ecosystem nor a resource, but it's a property of living systems. According to Harvey V. Lillywhite in 2002, it refers to the variety and variability among living organisms and the ecological complexes in which they occur. So, no one knows exactly how many species occur on our planet. Scientists believe that the total number of species on Earth is in between 10 millions to 80 million. Okay, so it was finalized in Stroke in 1988 and Wilson in 1988. We have been able to enlist only 1.4 million species so far. Nature has taken more than 600 million years to develop this exceedingly complex spectrum of life on this planet. So the existence of human race depends on earth and well-being of other life forms in the biosphere. Biological diversity is the total variety of life in our planet. So the total number of races, varieties or species, that is the sum total of various types of microbes, plants, animals present in a ecosystem is referred as biological diversity or simply as biodiversity. Okay. Next is levels of biodiversity. So, our biodiversity is usually analyzed at three different levels. Each have their own significances. Like in our first level, it is genetic biodiversity, and in second, it is species biodiversity, and in third, it is ecosystem diversity. Okay, so diversity. So first level is our diversity in an ecosystem. Next is diversity in a species. Third is diversity in genetic organization within a species. Okay, so now we are going to study about the diversity of biotic communities in an ecosystem. Okay, so depending largely upon the availability of abiotic resources and conditions of the environment, an ecosystem develops its own characteristics community of living organisms. A small pond, for example, constitutes an ecosystem and possesses a set of flora and fauna different from a river, which is another type of ecosystem. Different types of forest, grasslands, lakes, ponds, rivers, wetlands, etc., which are represent diverse ecosystem, each with a characteristics biotic community. So this is our biotic community, and in the previous chapter, in the previous class, I have told you about that what is biocommunity. That means all the living organism in an ecosystem, those are considered as our biotic. Okay, so mainly biotic referred to are living organisms or living components, and abiotic community means those who are non-living. Okay, next, so these are the biotic communities or biotic species like fish, deer, microbes, bacteria, then the animals, plants. Okay. Next, we are going to study about the diversity of species composition within a community. So, the biotic component in an ecosystem may be composed of a few species only or a large number of species of plants, animals and microbes which react and interact with each other and with the abiotic factors of the environment. The richness of species in an ecosystem is usually referred to as species diversity. Okay, so here we can understood that the here the microbes and the animals and the plants which are interact with both the interact with the abiotic factors. So here we are in a community where biotic community is also here and the abiotic community is also here. Okay. Next is our diversity of genetic organization within a species. So within a species, there are often found a number of varieties of races or strains which slightly differ from each other in one, two or a number of characters such as shape, size, quality of their product, resistance to insects, then pest and disease, ability to withstand adverse conditions of environment, etc. These differences are due to slight variations in their genetic organization. This diversity in the genetic makeup of a species is referred to as genetic diversity. A species with a large number of races, strains or varieties is considered to be rich and diverse in its genetic organization. Okay, so a species is usually the unit of classification in most of the taxonomic works and can be defined as a group of organisms genetically so similarly to each other that they can interbreed and produce fertile offsprings. For example, horses and zebras are different species. However, they are genetically similar and can interbreed, but the offsprings produced are infertile. A species is usually recognizable different from each other in appearance, but sometimes the differences are so minute that it is difficult to distinguish a species from another. So genes which are biochemical packages passed on by parents to their offsprings are similar in organisms belonging to a given species. However, subtle differences occur which are expressed as differences in size, color or sometimes invisible characters such as susceptibility to some disease, resistance to drought or low temperatures, etc. So these differences are used to classify individuals of a species into different varieties or races. So this is the three levels of biodiversity. So first one is our diversity of biotic communities and ecosystem. Second one is our diversity of species composition within a community, and third is our diversity of genetic organization within a species. And the main thing is the genetic diversity. So the differences are due to slight variation in their genetic organization. This diversity in the genetic makeup of a species is referred to as our genetic diversity. Okay. So in the next class, we are going to study about the biogeographical classification of India. Okay, thank you.